Earlier this week, if you happen to live in Billings, Montana, you might have looked up to the sky and thought, is that a bird or a plane? No, it's a Chinese spy balloon. Or if you listen to the Chinese, it's a weather balloon that just happened to fly over some military installations. The fact that it's here is pretty astounding given the fact that it flew from China over the Aleutian Islands, through Canada, and into the United States, where it's currently moving eastward and was spotted over Kansas. Almost immediately, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, who is in the Philippines, convened a meeting of senior military and defense leaders, including Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, to assess the threat and consider response options. They advised President Biden against shooting it out of the sky because it could cause civilian injuries or deaths or significant damage. However, the Pentagon and the White House are still considering a number of options and haven't ruled out anything at all at this point. This is not the first time a Chinese spy balloon, by the way, has been observed over the U.S., including during the prior administration. But this one has remained over the country for longer. And this intrusion comes at a particularly tense time between the United States and China. Secretary of State Antony Blinken postponed a trip to China that was supposed to start this weekend because of the violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law caused by the spy balloon. Joining me now is Courtney Kube, the NBC News correspondent covering national security and the Pentagon. Courtney, what's up with the balloon?
Who doesn't love a story about a spy balloon, right? So,
right.
I mean, you said it, Michael. It's moving eastward across the continental U.S. What's critical to know here for our viewers is that it is still over the U.S. So the Pentagon started tracking this thing several days ago. It moved down from Canada into Montana. What's new and different here is that this one has been hovering over the U.S. for a matter of days. In the past, there have been other balloons that have come near the U.S. or even gone into U.S. airspace, but they've generally quickly left that airspace. That's why this one has U.S. officials so concerned. And I can tell you, we are literally just learning in the last few seconds, the Pentagon is confirming there's actually a second Chinese surveillance balloon. This one is transiting over Latin America. Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder confirming now on the record there is a second balloon over Latin America. The Canadian government was saying earlier today that they may have reports of a second one, but the Pentagon wasn't seeing that until just late this evening. So now what we're going to be watching for is where does that one move? Just as we're watching the one that's been transiting across the U.S., there were some reports that may have been over Kansas, moving eastward. The question is, how long could it stay over the U.S.? Today, Pentagon Press Secretary is saying they assess it could be a few days. And then, of course, that begs the question, what happens when it gets over the ocean, Michael?
So, Courtney, help us understand exactly what these surveillance balloons are. I mean, just kind of give us a sense of what they do and what is China particularly trying to accomplish now having two balloons in this hemisphere? So
it depends on the balloon. What we're told, according to U.S. defense officials, the one that we first heard about over Montana several days ago, that one has a surveillance capability that's somewhat comparable to a satellite. The difference is most of these Chinese spy satellites that exist that are taking pictures of the U.S. pretty much every day, they're in a lower Earth orbit. This one is hovering somewhere around 60,000 feet. So presumably, it may be able to get a clearer picture than some of the satellites. But what we don't know is just how sophisticated the equipment on board is. What we have learned just late today is that the U.S. is using some counterintelligence measures to obscure the view that that the pictures that the satellite is, that this balloon is able to gather, especially when they're concerned that it could be over a sensitive site. So again, back to Montana, it was only about 200 miles, it may have even gotten closer than that, to some intercontinental ballistic missile silos that are up in Montana. The U.S. has the ability to stop it from being able to see critical infrastructure or sites that they don't want the Chinese to get a good look at.
So, of course, not letting a good political opportunity go to waste. Republicans have spent the day slamming President Biden and demanding that he shoot it out of the sky. MAGA Republicans in particular have claimed, that's what Trump would do. But in truth, didn't this happen during the Trump administration as well? And why is it so risky to just shoot it out of the sky?
So I have to say, we heard yesterday from defense officials that this had happened specifically in the previous administration. I've actually reached out to a number of former administration officials who are saying they're not aware of this happening. It doesn't mean it didn't, but I can't find anyone who is confirming it. I will say Secretary of Defense Mark Esper was on TV earlier today, and he flat out denied that he was aware of it happening during his time at the Pentagon. So, but that being said, this has happened in the past. It's definitely not unprecedented for the Chinese to put this sort of asset up in the air to try to gather intelligence. And by the way, a lot of different countries do this same sort of thing. It's not unusual. The Chinese, the Russians often put aircraft up for surveillance capabilities coming near the U.S. The Russians and the Chinese both have ships that will often come close to the continental United States. So that's not different. But again, the thing that makes this stand out is the fact that it's been over the continental U.S. for so long. That's what's a little bit different here in this circumstance. And again, that's what has U.S. officials so concerned. As far as potentially shooting it down, we continue to hear the concern that because it is so big, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 school buses in size.
Oh.
And it's right. And it's high up. It's 60,000 feet. The concern is if they were to blow it up and it were to and just to fall in uncontrolled way to the earth, they wouldn't be able to control the debris field. People on the ground could be hurt or even killed.
Courtney Kube, who's got her eye on the balloon. We really appreciate you, Courtney. Thank you.